Hello and welcome to The Dish with Liz. My name is Liz Rodriguez. I'm a registered dietitian here to offer nutritional solutions to your most pressing questions. So let's get right to it. Meg from San Antonio, Texas wrote, and she said this: "Hi, I was referred to your site by a friend who has lupus. For over 10 years, my mother has had chronic stomach issues, always feeling there's gas in her stomach. At the end of last year, she had a strange flare-up of neuropathy. She has so much gas in her stomach, it's difficult for her to breathe, and she feels very ill. She cannot eat and is growing weaker. The GI doctor did an endoscopy, and it came back normal. He states that there is nothing wrong with her and referred her to a psychiatrist for depression. Have you heard of neuropathy affecting the GI system? If so, how does it typically present? Also, do you think it could all be stress and the depression that is causing such severe stomach issues? We are baffled. Thanks for your consideration of my question, Meg." Hi, Meg. I'm really sorry to hear about your mother's experience with neuropathy. Unfortunately, the response she's received is all too familiar when a medical condition presents in an unusual manner. For those of you that don't know, neuropathy is a collection of disorders that occurs when there is nerve damage to the peripheral nervous system, or the portion of the nervous system that exists outside of the brain and the spinal cord. So when those nerves are damaged. This condition is often called peripheral neuropathy for this reason. Neuropathy can affect nerves that control muscle movements or motor nerves, as well as those nerves that detect sensitivities to cold or pain, called sensory nerves. So this can certainly affect peristalsis or movement of the digestive tract in a number of ways, depending which nerves are affected. Common symptoms include constipation, diarrhea, early satiety or feeling full after just a few bites, nausea after eating, swallowing problems, and abdominal swelling. Neuropathy is a set of symptoms usually linked to a disease such as diabetes, Guillain-Barré syndrome, MS, Parkinson's, spinal cord injuries, an inherited nerve disorder, or even alcohol abuse. So Megan, one of your mother's top priorities should be to identify any underlying undetected conditions. And you might already be aware of what that is, or if there is one. I don't know, since I'm not familiar with her past medical history. In the meantime, if your mother is still feeling weak and having trouble eating due to her symptoms, she should focus on consuming soft foods that don't require a lot of extra energy to chew. Blending works great to do this because it provides a concentrated source of nutrients and a smooth texture that's pre-digested and easy to tolerate. Begin by pureeing soups and smoothies using high-nutrient produce, nuts, and seeds. If texture becomes a problem, your mother may need to work with a speech therapist to determine if she needs a thick or thin texture of foods in order to reduce risk of aspiration. For thinning foods, you can use liquids. And to thicken up foods, you can use pureed ingredients like nut butters, ice, beans, and avocado added to soups and smoothies. Megan, your mother is likely dealing with a combination of a very real disease process that does affect her digestive tract, inflammation in her body, stress from these challenges, and maybe even some depression from chronic pain and discomfort, which would be totally understandable considering that she's being told there's nothing wrong with her and yet she's unable to eat. Remember, having a team of health professionals that is willing to listen and to take your mother's case seriously is really important to her quality care and overall outcomes. So if there's a practitioner that you don't think is willing to work with you, then it might be in your mother's best interest to find another one, or at the very least to get a second opinion, which I highly recommend. Think of yours and your mother's health as a business, and you're the CEO. So your job is to hire or to choose the best qualified practitioner possible. And this might mean conducting more than one interview or making more than one visit. And because your mother is likely debilitated and worn down at this point, she's really going to need your help in this area. Megan, I encourage your mother to seek a second opinion, to get an evaluation with a speech therapist, and to invest in a high-quality blender. Then you can help her to focus on soft foods that have adequate fiber and that come from whole foods, so things like mashed sweet potatoes or butternut squash pureed into a creamy soup. I'll list a few recipes beneath this video, and you can simply Google those ingredients to find many more recipes online. Now I'd like to hear from you. How many of you out there have been told by a health professional that there's nothing wrong with you? And if you were, what did you do to get the support that you needed to advance your care? If you're willing to share your experience, it could be a really good source of encouragement to Meg and her mom. If you liked this video or you found it helpful, please like it, share it, and don't hesitate to hop on my mailing list for future weekly videos delivered to your inbox. Thanks for being here. Be well, be wise, and remember to take care of you.